Tired of paint bottles all over your workbench? Let's fix this problem for less than $5. Today we'll be building a DIY paint rack to clean up that paint bottle mess on your workbench once and for all. Hi, I'm Mike. This here's Moosey. Say hi, Moosey. He's the star of the show, as you know. And you're here for another episode of Modeling with Mike. Let's talk about materials and tools you'll need to build your very own specially made DIY paint rack. You'll need corrugated cardboard. You'll need tape. You'll need a hobby knife or a box cutter. You'll need white glue, or you can use CA glue, Gorilla Glue, whatever. And you need a straight edge ruler to make your cuts with. Now, most of these things, except for the cardboard, you should have around the house. If you don't have it around the house, you can get it at the dollar store for real cheap. Cardboard, get any corrugated cardboard. I bought this desk here a couple weeks ago. I used the cardboard off that box, and I had enough to make 2 racks. If you can't find anything around the house, go to your local store. Tell them a lie. Tell them you're moving. They'll give you all the cardboard boxes you need. So, I will turn around here and we'll start to show you how to make one of these from planning to building. And we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And I'm going to show you everything from the planning stages to the build. Basically, I made this for a bunch of these testers paints that I had in this rack up here. Now this rack is made to stick bottles in, okay? And I go and I put some of these testers bottles, they go into the holes and they'll fall over. So I wanted a rack specially for these, to set these on. I only have 17 of them, so I'm going to need, well, close thing divisible by 3 is 18. That's like 6 times 3 is 18. So I made it wide enough for 6 bottles. I measured 6 bottles across. I got about 5 3/4 inches. So I made it 6 inches across. Okay? So, what you want to do is 6 inches across. You measure each bottle from the top to front to the back. It's about 3/4 of an inch. If you want to make some that has 2 bottles back to back, say you have 34 bottles, you can make them back to back. That's what I did. And that would be 2 inches deep. So you'll want this to be 6 inches deep, 6 inches high, 6 inches wide. Okay? Now, the sizes you are going to need for this. For your back panel, your base panel, and your side panels. Your side panels and your base panel are going to be 6 by 6. And put tape around everywhere that's going to be seen. Okay? You don't want open corrugated cardboard being looked at. That just, Back panel is going to be 5 7/8 wide by 6 inches high. Because this back panel is gonna slip in here between everything, and that's gonna just add stability to everything. Now, your shelf supports. Shelf supports are going to be these things in front that are holding up your shelves. These are going to be 2 inches by 5 7/8. Okay, and you need 3 of them because your shelf's going to fit like this on top of your side. Gonna fit, and your shelf support is gonna go down here and slide in like that. And then there you go. That's how it's gonna fit. So shelf supports are 5 7/8 by 2. Again, tape it all around to hide your cardboard, open cardboard. Your shelf is going to be 2 by 6. 3 of them. 2 by 6. Tape around 3 sides of it because the back side's going to be up against that. You're not going to see it. Okay, so here is how you put it together. You get your base panel and your 2 side panels. These are going to go like this. Okay. We're going to use Gorilla Glue here so we can try to speed it up a bit. And we'll put this on base panel. A nice little bead here. Nice little bead here. Then put one on the bottom here. One on the bottom here. And you set side panels up. Make sure they're even with the sides. You'll want to keep them there till the glue starts to tack up. When the glue starts to tack up, they'll stand up on their own. This is probably the toughest part of it right now. So we just wait. Get a shelf support here. I'll put the shelf support down. You want to build this from the bottom up. Okay, bottom up. Just remember that. You start going from the top, you're going to be in trouble. Some glue in here, some Gorilla Glue on down here on the bottom and up on here. And you'll put your shelf support. Goes down on there. This is where it can be a big pain. Okay, well, here's what we're going to have to do then. Since this doesn't want to cooperate, we'll get some tape and tape it into place. I just want to show you basically how it fits together, and it's not letting me. But basically, put your shelf up here, and maybe if we stick this shelf on, everything else will start working. Now it's starting to go together. I'm just going to show you this first step because the rest of them are going to be just like this. Just go up to the top. This next shelf support is going to go down into here like that. So we put some Gorilla Glue on here. That'll end up going like so. Just slips down here, butts up against the shelf and your two sides. Make sure it doesn't slip down because you're going to have to put your next shelf on top. And then I'm going to just go ahead, put the next shelf on. Well, that shelf support is just slipping down. But you get the idea. The shelf goes on, shelf support slips behind, and shelf butts against the shelf support, like so. We're going to have to let this dry. And the next shelf goes up here. Next shelf support goes down there, next shelf, and then the back panel. And you have yourself a paint rack. And instead of doing all this crap, I'm going to take this apart because this is not going to work out. I could show you on this finished one. The first shelf panel, we'll just do it this way. First shelf panel butts up against the sides. Side goes on top of the bottom panel. Shelf goes on top of it. Then, second shelf support slips behind the shelf, butts up against it, and goes between the two sides. Next shelf goes over that. Next shelf support and slides behind the shelf, between the two sides. Last shelf goes up on top. Then you slide, you trim up the back to fit the opening here, slide it in, glue it all up. Then once it's all glued up, you will go to the spray booth and spray it whatever color you want. This one I'm going to end up spraying probably, this one here is going to be gray. You get the idea. Shelf support in front between two sides, followed by shelf. Shelf support under, behind the shelf, between two sides, followed by shelf. Next shelf support, same way, followed by a shelf. And then the back panel slides in behind all that. Now, let me get this out of the way. I'm going to stop the video and load this up with paint so you can see what it looks like done, finished, and holding paint. I'll be right back. Okay, now we're back. some modifications, if I would do this again, some modifications would be I would put some to make the side square where these don't have a chance to fall off the side. And I'd make the back a little taller to where these won't fall off the back. But for now, I kind of like it. Sort of works. So I'm going to turn around and we'll go over a cost summary and other design modifications we could have made and end the video. I'll be right back. All right, we're back and let's go over the cost of this. For me, this rack behind me that I showed you and the rack that I tried to build for you but wasn't cooperating, between the two, $0. $0. I either had everything on hand or I had everything on hand. Basically, if you were going to buy most of these at the dollar store, the things you need, you'd probably pay about $5. So this is a $5 project. Modify the design. Maybe you could make the shelves so they slant up and the bottles fit in there better. Maybe put some rubber strips on there so the bottles won't slide. Like I said, extend the sides up a bit. Make it a square side on the outside of it so the bottles don't fall out. Extend the top on the back. Extend the top of the back about 2 inches over the top shelf so they don't fall back. This second shelf, once I'm done with it, I believe I'm going to put some holes in it and use it for extra brushes, to hold extra brushes. You could use it for that. You can use it for a tool holder. You know, open up some holes and use it for a tool holder, a tool rack. You can make a bunch of racks for a bunch of things, you know, just as usual. Let your mind flow. So as you could see, you can make a paint rack for little or no money. So what do you use for paint storage? Let me know in the comments. Okay, the next video is going to be a Gundam build. I'm gonna finish this Gundam model that I started on the Gundam video. May take me one video, may take me two, but it'll be completed when I'm done with it. Channel update. We're up to 168 subscribers and we're still going. My State of the Hobby video went public this morning and I'm expecting big things from it. So we'll see. Don't forget, this next Thursday, the 22nd, at 1 p.m., it'll be the live stream and it'll be a discussion of the state of the hobby. We're going to piggyback on the state of the hobby video and have a whole discussion for the whole time of that, and should be a good discussion. So mark your calendars, join in. So that's all I got for this video. With that being said, you know what we say around here. Never stop pushing your modeling boundaries. And with that being said, we'll see you next time. Bye.